What's the name of the story?
The Lost Button. Toad and Frog went for a long walk. They walked across a large meadow. They walked along in the woods. They walked along the river. At last they went back home to Toad's house. "Oh, Dick," said Toad. "Not only do my feet hurt, but I have lost one of the buttons on my jacket." "Don't worry," said Frog. "We will go back to all the places where we walked. We will soon find your button." They walked back to the large meadow. They began to look for the button in the tall grass. "Here is your button," cried Frog. "That is not my button," said Toad. "That button's black and my button was white." Toad put the black button in his pocket. A sparrow flew down. "Excuse me," said the sparrow. "Did you lose a button?" "I found one." "That is not my button," said Toad. "That button has 2 holes and my button had 4. Toad put the button with 2 holes in his pocket. They went back to the woods, looked on the dark paths. "Here is your button," said Frog. "That is not my button," cried Toad. "That button is small and my button was big." Toad put the small button in his pocket. A raccoon came from behind a tree. "I heard that you were looking for a button," he said. "Here's one that I've just found." "That is not my button," wailed Toad. "That button's square and my button was round." Toad put the square button in his pocket. Frog and Toad went back to the river. They looked for the button in the mud. "Here is your button," said Frog. "That is not my button," shouted Toad. "That button's thin and my button was thick." Toad put the thin button in his pocket. He was very angry. He jumped up and down and screamed, "The whole world is covered with buttons and not one of them is mine." Toad ran home and slammed the door. There on the floor, he saw his white, 4-holed, big, round, thick button. "Oh," said Toad. "It was here all the time. What a lot of trouble I have made for Frog." Toad took all of the buttons out of his pocket. He took his sewing box down from the shelf. Toad sewed the buttons all over his jacket. The next day, Toad gave his jacket to Frog. Frog thought that was beautiful. He put it on and jumped for joy. None of the buttons fell off. Toad had sewed them on very well.
That was some great reading, Lucia.
Way to go, kid.
This is a story called A Lost Button from the book Frog and Toad Are Friends. What do you think this story is about?
Toad losing buttons and finding buttons.
Losing buttons and finding buttons. What do you think, Jacob?
I think it's a metaphor that one shouldn't just...
And I think it's about buttons.
I think you're right. Go ahead again, Jacob.
I think it's a metaphor that you should just be happy with what you find and at least thank the people for trying to help you.
That's a really great reminder. That's true. But Toad was losing his temper the whole time, and he never stopped to thank anybody until the end. And that's, for me, one of the things this reminds me of is that a great story can be about a lot of different things. For me, the story is about being on a journey to find something very specific. Like he really thought he wanted to find his lost button, and that was the most important thing to him. And along the way, he found other things that he realized were a special and different gift than he had expected at all. And then he still found the thing he was looking for, but he also found something beautiful that he could share with his friend. So, what a really great story with great reading by Lucia and help by Jacob. We hope that you enjoyed A Lost Button and that you heard something special in the story for you too. Say bye.
Adios.
Adios.
Adios, mis amigos.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.